And we are live once again. Hello and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum, and welcome to Do-It-Yourself Budget Hot Rodding. But before we get into talking about unboxing project spirits, brake calipers, well, her caliper brackets, let's. I would like y'all to meet a cat that we're temporarily fostering because we're trying to find him a new home. This here is the little kitten. He's got a couple of names, but a really cool nickname, and I'll explain that in a moment. Uh, he was originally named Julius Needles, and here at HQ, uh, Julius got the nickname of Spike because he's a little gremlin. That's right, you little gremlin. Yes, you are. Isn't he cute? Okay. Uh, that takes care of that little bit of business. So if anybody in the area is looking for a really cute kitten, Spike is looking for a home. He's looking for a home. He's a great little guy, a lot of fun. Ornery as hell, but we all love him here at Prince Magnum Channel HQ. All right. Real quick, current events. Um, Big Bad Bird of Bert TV and I have settled our differences. He made an open apology to me at my workplace, and I've accepted that apology. So I want to make that official. We're going to put this stuff behind us. We've got a lot of fish to fry. Uh, he might want to watch that alternate media stuff because, I mean, you know, it's just one of them things. I mean, I'm pretty savvy about that stuff, and you know, I'm pretty savvy about that stuff. I'll just leave it at that. If you'd like to see some really interesting stuff, there's a video that I've just recently checked out, and I have recommended it to a friend of mine who's an independent writer for media, and she's definitely interested in the story. Already knows a little bit about it, and she'd like to get her hands on more. Check out Secure Team 10 here on YouTube and look up the truth on Trump's Space Force. You might find that fascinating. I definitely found it interesting, so definitely you all should check it out too. I would definitely suggest this. Okay, onward and upward. Today, as I had mentioned in a previous video, and I believe it was a previous live stream, Project Spirits. Caliper brackets came in today. I want to thank the UPS people for shipping that, and I want to thank Mustang Unlimited for making sure they carry these hard to find parts. Um, Again, for my buddy Third Gen 83, he might recognize this little gem right here. This is one of them. Which in particular, this is the one for the right side or the passenger side. Okay, so literally, it'll bolt right to it'll bolt right on right here to the spindle, the side of it actually have bolt run right through, lock on right here, and then it'll actually bolt like actually right there, and everything just kind of mounts on. And it's pretty neat actually. Can't wait to get this sucker on there. But we're down to the last couple of. Come on. All right, we're back in business. Okay. Um, so, real quick, some of you might be asking the question, okay, Prince Magnum, how's this BS bolt on? Okay, how does it bolt on? Now, we already briefly discussed in, a, in one of the previous videos, you're welcome to check it out later after the live stream, how everything starts bolting up to this bad boy. Okay, again, this will be the passenger side here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and grab the passenger side caliper. Okay, well, the bracket. Initially, I thought it kind of went on kind of like, you know, kind of like that. I was way wrong. It actually bolts on right like that. Pretty nifty. Okay, just kind of bolts on right like that, which will grab some nuts and bolts and bolt everything up when it comes time. Now, the last piece to this puzzle is these special splash guards that go right up against here. Okay, And this protects, when you go through water and anything like that, the water kind of messing with the rotor and all that. Water and trying to stop a vehicle and brakes, it's a bad combination. So that's why they implement stuff like that. I mean, we could try to get by without it, but it was recommended to go ahead and get it and use it. To go along with that, there is going to be one slight difficult problem. And in this process, there's actually supposed to be a gasket that goes, say, right about here, flush, and then that uh, the the splash guard will bolt right here. So a gasket, then a splash guard. Well, after doing a little bit of checking, to my knowledge, that splash guard does not exist anymore. Not on paper. You can't buy it, so it has to be made. Now, one of the guys I was watching here on YouTube was kind enough to impart that you can make them out of cork, and he's done it numerous times. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And Princess Faye is actually really good at cutting out those sort of parts. So Princess Faye will be employed to make the gasket, and of course that'll be sealed up. And then of course the splash guard, then of course the bearings with the rotor, and of course the locking nut and cotter pin. That'll be all bolted on. Then of course back here will be the caliper, and then the brake pads and all the hardware, and then of course the lines coming in, and then of course also changing out the master cylinder. So we are close. We are close, folks. This is as close as we have been, I'd say, in about a year and a half of searching for a lot of these parts. Thank goodness my friends over there at STL Mustang was kind enough to tell me that Mustang Unlimited would be able to provide exactly what I need, even though Project Spirit is not a Mustang. She's a Maverick. But it is safe to say that Project Spirit is more Maverick. Well, even though she's a Maverick, she's more Mustang than Mustang today. Sorry, Mustang fanboys. Don't mean to, be like that. Sorry about that. Anyhow, onward and upward. So, tomorrow, a good deal of time will be spent painting the rest of the parts, calipers and things like that. We're also going to be looking at doing a live stream. It's going to be Surviving Romance. We're going to do kind of a pork roast sort of thing. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I know more people watch Surviving Romance than they do the do-it-yourself budget hot rodding, which is weird because initially it used to be the other way around. So, all right. So that covers that. Poor Project Spirit, she's had some lean days as of recent in taking home trophies. I think this is the longest I've ever been without Project Spirit bringing home a trophy. But hey, that happens. I will say that I did find something very fascinating, and maybe you all might find this as interesting as I did. While we were at the DeSoto Car Show and doing the live stream and everything, the gentleman who had the Maverick Grabber, which again was a gorgeous looking car, I was actually shocked that he was actually kind of standoffish. I mean, it kind of blew my mind. I didn't know what to think about that. Um, I've never really known uh, Maverick owners to be standoffish like that. I mean, usually we kind of hold together. My buddy Third Gen 83 will tell you that we will hang together, even if we don't like the other person's Maverick. We will hang together because there's not many Mavericks left. We're trying to save as many as we can. But anyhow, this guy was very standoffish. I mean, he came over, he looked a little bit at Project Spirit, but he didn't. He was almost kind of snobbish. I mean, if I'd be afraid if he went out earlier in the day with all the raining that we had that day earlier, he would have drowned because he had his nose up in the air, stuck up. Maybe that was just my way I took it. I don't know. Maybe, but Princess Faye even got the same thing. Even my buddy T-Bone even felt the same way. Uh, Maverick owners shouldn't be like that, I mean, I take my moments too. I won't. But man, I mean, there again, remember that video where I talked about don't judge a person by their car, judge them by who they are. So there's a lesson to be learned in this, kids. Uh, Recently, there was also a comment, and I want to address this comment. Uh, it was I forget the gentleman's name, Potato something or other. It was on an older video of posers. Why does the phone ring when you're in the shower? Why does Princess? I swear she's got a sixth sense for this sort of stuff. Anyhow, love you, babe. Oh man. Okay. To answer the gentleman's question, he's like, well, he kind of, I know what he was trying to do. I was saying, I don't like the term ricer. He's like, well, it's an acronym, and I already know this, okay, dude, I already know this. I mean, what it boils down to, okay, and I'm going to explain this, and anybody who's been around the scene long enough knows, okay. And we're talking, this is old school stuff. So uh, what I bring to the Prince Magnum channel as as the host is a lot of old school hot rodding lingo. Uh, you might say rims, and I hate that term because to me, if you say rims, that's to me the edge of your wheel. Okay, that's the rim of the wheel. So if you call them rims, automatically I'm gonna have to sit there and do a double take. It's like, what, beauty rings? Oh, no, no, no. You're talking about the whole wheel. So I'm very old school in that sense. You'll say rims, I'll say custom wheels. Okay. So going back to some of the old ideas, okay. Um, you can have the cool car, okay, but it may not be necessarily high performance. It may not even be mid performance, okay. It may be low performance, okay. So that's where it fits in. Now, even though it's a cool car, but it's a low performance car, it doesn't necessarily take away from that fact. It just means that you're not going to be winning any land speed records. So getting out there and pretending like you've got some massively powerful V8 power. Give you an example. Let's say you took a 1980 Camaro, well, better yet, a 1987 Camaro with a 2.8 V6, R4 700 automatic transmission, kind of run of the mill basic Camaro from back then, and you start acting like it's an IROC, okay? No, it's not, okay? You know, it doesn't have the custom performance, that it doesn't have that performance to keep up with, cars that actually do that sort of stuff. I have to excuse me, I'm getting sick. So that being said, it's still a cool car. It's just not a fast car. Okay. So people that act like they have a cool car, but it's not a fast car, but they act like it is a fast car. Well, that's a poser. Okay. Now today we see that the poser culture has changed significantly. Okay. And if my buddy T-Bone is on or Third Gen 83, they'll be able to go, yeah, he's dead on. He's dead on. Uh, so to go along with this, and I'm going to take y'all back and, so that taking you back in time to what it was in the late 90s, we called them posers. Now, when you fast forward today, uh, these poser sort of people will make these modifications that they're cosmetic, and in some cases they really look good. Okay, they look really good. These cosmetic enhancements that a lot of people go, well, it's trash because it doesn't do anything for the performance of the vehicle. Who gives a crap? It's an artistic standpoint at that point. Um, it's kind of like, my buddy Third Gen 83 has suggested that I do a blackout grill for Project Spirit because the Grabbers had blackout grills. Now, this is an artistic standpoint, doing the headlight benzels in a satin black because that's what they did back then. Okay. Does this do anything for performance? Hell no. But is it going to win trophies? Probably. And that's what Project Spirit does, okay? So when these people today take a more modern vehicle and they start making these enhancements that maybe they look good, maybe they don't, I don't know. It depends on how you look at it. I mean, again, at that point, it's a matter of taste. Uh, you know, it like this. I've got a video clip, and I won't tell too much more. But I got a video clip of this guy in a Honda Civic. It was probably a late '90s Honda Civic going down the road. He had this ginormous wing on the back that was so heavy you could literally see the car squatting. It was hilarious. I bet the car could only top out at best 110 just because all the weight was going to the back and it's front wheel drive. By the way, this guy drives his car everywhere, and I do see it starting to puff some black smoke. So he's done some very bad modifications to this car. But to him, it's cool. Okay. So if he likes that, let him have it. Okay. It's none of my business. Okay. To tell him what to do to his car. Okay. Does it do anything for performance? Hell no. We know it don't, okay? Everyone who's been around, tinkering with these cars knows all well that it doesn't do anything. I mean, that thing sounds like it sounds like an angry bumblebee going down the road. It's horrible. Uh, you know, DC Sports rocking all the way, right? eBay exhaust. Anyhow, but if he continued to work on it and stylize it to his taste and say finish the project, it would be perfect for car shows if he did it, did it the way he was supposed to at this point, finish the project, okay? It would be perfect for car shows. And when he came in, he'd be able to rack them, that horrible pipe. People would pay attention. Oh, flashy car. It'd be perfect for car shows. Is he going to be winning any land speed records? Hell no. Okay? It's that simple, folks. So if he starts acting like he can win any land speed records, he's a poser. Okay? He's posing like he has a high performance car. So I hope that answers that gentleman's question. Again, I think it was potatoes, something or other. I forget exactly already. But that's something to take into consideration. There are really only two types of there's two types of hot rods in the world. I don't care where your hot rod fit, it'll always fall under two classifications: a cruiser and a bruiser. But the moment you start acting like your show cruiser is a bruiser, you're a poser. Dang, that's hard to. You try to say that fast, okay? Wow. So that's what I was trying to get by in that video. And some of these guys really do not know that all that stuff doesn't do anything. I mean, and it being a more modern vehicle, he might want to look at some of the tuner, the tuner boxes, and or maybe maybe an onboard or something like that. That definitely may be the way to go. A reflash, something, okay? Something that would help him along the way as he's making his modifications. But since he's judging by the way it sounded, he's not doing it, okay? Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So, because it's all a cosmetic thing, it's only good for show if he finishes the project. So that's where that stands. So if you have any questions, that's where the posers and not ricers videos come from, because we tackle that subject of looking at what is what's actual, what's really okay, what are they trying to accomplish, and they're going the wrong direction for what they really want to do. Now, Project Spirit is more cruiser than bruiser, but she's got just enough bruiser in there to do all right. Okay, she'll hold her own with even a few modern vehicles, but you start getting up there with a little bit of ponies, a little bit of foot-pounds of torque. Project Spirit she won't hold it that well. She would need something more. Okay, another gear or wider gear ratios, and just all that other stuff, which I won't bore you all to tears with, but you get the idea. Okay, she has just enough bruiser to have fun in. Okay, and she's a lot of fun. So I hope that answers your question. Okay. Again, that video was not meant as harmful, but it was kind of to break that mythos that that all modifications have to be performance oriented. They can be other. Okay, I'm going to make some coffee. I forgot to make some coffee earlier. Just got a brand new coffee pot. Ooh, I scared of the dark. Anyhow, so again, if you are, if you're a true fan of the Prince Magnum channel, there is nothing wrong with doing show cars. I myself love doing show cars. I love car shows, and there's not enough emphasis of car shows here on YouTube. It's always, always, always about someone laying down hate on a track or street racing, laying down hate on the street. Where the heck did she put the coffee filters? Anyhow, oh, they're right there staring me in the freaking face. So Project Spirit and both Project Lena, who is having to take a hiatus from car shows, she's she got some bugs that's got to be worked out that prevent her from doing even decent enough in a car show. So we got to get that taken care of. So she's off the circuit, possibly for the rest of the year. But no big deal. As soon as next season rolls around, she'll be ready to rock and roll. Okay. So we have that to look forward to. Again, if you don't know who Project Lena is, that is our 2003 Pontiac Grand Am GT, which we are making a mild dress up to do car shows. Most everything on the new car show scene, believe it or not, all you usually see is Mustangs, Challengers, Chargers, and Camaros. Oh, and of course Corvette. But that's to kind of be expected. You see Corvettes at every car show, new, old, and every point in between. Okay, so Princess Faye has decided to do something different. I think she'll do just fine as far as that goes. But that's where we stand on that. Project Spirit, old school, family car, compact of her day, which is hilarious because when you compare her to the vehicles of today, believe it or not, she's just about the size of a full-size car. It's absolutely hilarious. Which there'll probably be an in-your-face video on what Ford could do to actually save their actual automobile, their car line, and so they don't have to just do trucks, crossovers, and SUVs. But like they're going to listen to me, we know what it'll take. I think anyone who's a frequent, if you will, a frequent flyer here on the Prince Magnum channel, we know what it's going to take. Bring back the Maverick, you idiots. That's another subject. All right, onward and upward. Now, we covered the new brake caliper brackets. Again, all we need is that splash guard, and I got to get outer tie rod ends for the Mustang. The 1970 to 73 Mustang. No big deal. All of that will bolt right into place. Project Spirit won't even know the difference. Again, Project Spirit is more Mustang today than the Mustang of today. It's amazing. It's amazing how those parts will go together. Which, again, I want to thank our friends at Mustang Unlimited, again, for providing those hard-to-find parts for Project Spirit. Mustang Unlimited is out there on the East Coast. Check them out online for all of your Mustang and Maverick suspension needs, believe it or not. Okay, if you're in need of those parts for your Mustang, Maverick, Mercury Cougar, Mercury Comet, that's where you want to go, okay? Definitely, I don't know if they really know. Well, when I told them that these parts were going on to a Maverick, they're like, really? Really? I said, yeah. As a matter of fact, the salesman, I was telling him about that. He's like, that is so awesome. I said, well, usually it's the other way around where they take the parts off the Maverick and put them on the Mustang. We're doing it the opposite way. And he thought that was really cool. He said, well, that's kind of a change of pace. I said, yep. I said, it'd be really cool too. So, um, so that pretty well covers that. Okay. Again, before we start winding this live stream down, I want to thank everybody again during that surviving romance video where I really had to stand up and defend my wife. That issue has been settled. Okay, that issue has been settled. Now we're onward and upward to some new issues, which we will be dealing with in a very near future live stream. How near future? We're shooting for Friday. Also, the mini movie is back on. Don't ask for a release date. Once the video is done, we will set a release date and we will go and load it. You'll see trailers beforehand. I will say that, again, I want to put a disclaimer again on that. I am a fan of law enforcement. I just don't like law enforcement that's crooked. Okay? And, I stand up for what I believe in. And if a police agency is not going to live up to what they're supposed to, protect and serve the public trust, then that police agency needs to lose their charter and their insurance, and the officers need to be treated as criminals of the state. But that's another subject for In Your Face. Okay, I think I covered it all. Dang. I was hoping we had some questions. I was hoping to get to answer some stuff, but I guess we didn't get to that point. That's okay. That's okay. Real quick, I also want to take time out and thank the city of DeSoto for allowing the Prince Magnum channel to do their live stream. I also want to thank all the people who allowed me to video their vehicles. They were just, everyone was so tickled that their car, truck, motorcycle was being live streamed directly to the Prince Magnum channel. A lot of people enjoyed that. Want to thank my buddy T-Bone for joining me. That was the first time we've ever done a car show together like that. That was awesome. Buddy, we got to do that again. There's one coming up in Fenton. We need to go. We're going to go. Okay. Let's see. That pretty well covers it. All right. Keep posted, because as we get closer, there's going to be short live streams throughout the day as we're working on Project Spirit's front disc brake conversion. Again, this is a stock front disc brake conversion. This is just, it's actually costed me a little bit more money than originally intended, but in the long run, it's still going to be cheaper than buying the aftermarket kit, because usually the aftermarket kit you can't get the spare parts for, and when you can't, they're expensive as flip. Okay, y'all thought I was going to say something else. So that's where we are on that. When that day comes, T-Bone and I will be tearing into it. Actually, Princess Faye will be too. And of course, there will be an actual full-on video of everything that went into this project, okay? For Project Spirit's front disc brake conversion. Again, so that's kind of the game plan. We'll live stream periodically throughout the day, and then it'll be one giant video to show how it was done and everywhere that we got the parts. So if you yourself have a Maverick or a Mercury Comet or anything of that nature, you'll be able to go through and do it yourself, okay? And you'll know where the sources were that I was able to get the parts for. I think all total, I have used a grand total of, for this build, three different sources. AutoZone, O'Reilly's, and believe it or not, Mustang Unlimited. Okay, so those have been my sources for parts. For information, I had to rely on STL Mustang, believe it or not, as well. So, and for those who don't know, STL Mustang is over in Park Hills, well, technically Leadington, right at the edge of Park Hills. Okay. Another one of those unusual ones. Okay, I hear the coffee pot coming to a close. So, again, that's where all of this stands. Uh, when that time comes, we're going to go into the kitchen real quick. No, no, we're not cooking. That's tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Again, Project Spirit, we're going to do that front disc brake conversion. She'll have some new outer tie rod ends, which will be cool. So that'll take care of some issues there that needed to be taken care of. The next project after that is obviously, we've got to take care of some suspension stuff, which will be done all through the winter. We will have plenty of content as the winter closes on us here in Missouri. Okay, so don't worry, there'll be plenty of content on do-it-yourself budget hot rodding as we continue onward. Gosh, I think I pretty well covered it again. Okay, I'm starting to ramble. I got to stop myself. All right. So that pretty well takes care of that. I think I covered that. Even talked about the whole deal with Big Bad Bert. So, all right. Brings us to that stopping point. Be sure to check out my Patreon account, Magnum_Prince at patreon.com. We are taking donations. Any and all donations go directly back into Project Spirit, okay? Project Spirit will still be done. It's just that if you don't donate, it takes longer. I mean, that's the best way I could put it. This is everything you see here on the Prince Magnum channel comes out of pocket, okay? So if you want to help further her along, maybe we want that input on what we do to her engine, or maybe a different engine. Now's the time, you know. In other words, if you're not contributing, you don't have a say-so. So that pretty well covers that, okay? All right. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and follow me on Facebook, which I really should almost stop saying Twitter because I haven't checked it in like 3 weeks. But I'm definitely on Facebook, okay? Definitely on Facebook. Be sure to follow me on Facebook. You get to know me personally. You could even have that phone conversation and get to know me personally outside of, you know, the Prince Magnum channel camera work and live streams and everything. And you get to know a little bit more than maybe you did before, okay? Which I have done that with a few subscribers and had an enjoyable time. And I've even done it with other people on other channels, okay? And speaking of those channels, be sure to check out Cadillac Kid Productions and be sure to check out BST Ford Channel because he's also doing a Maverick project. He's got a two-door, and I'm almost a little envious because he's actually getting a little bit more done to his than I'm able to get done to Project Spirit. He started to come up with a name, and then it just kind of, I guess it didn't work out. I've been calling it Mean Green because it's green, and you know, what he's doing next is probably going to blow your mind. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Okay, so be sure to check out my boy BST Ford Channel, and be sure to check out Cadillac Kid Productions. He's always loading something new that you all will enjoy. Actually, it's a lot of backlog stuff. He's got enough for like all the way up until 2020, so he's just kind of backlogging his stuff. I'd like to see some new content though. Just absolutely funny guy. Let's see. I'm not really going to promote that. So all right, that pretty well covers it. Okay. Actually, there was one more I wanted to mention. Be sure to check out Survival on Purpose for all your outdoor reviews. There's a gentleman named Brian who runs Survival on Purpose, been a scout for many years, and just a great deal of knowledge there. So be sure to check out his channel as well. Okay, and be sure to keep your eye on the Prince Magnum channel. Subscribe, hit the like button, hit that bell icon. That way you let YouTube know the Prince Magnum channel is where it's at. for your hot rodding needs, your romance needs, for telling the government how it really is, because we the people, and all important, keeping the history of this country alive and well and not letting it be rewritten. That's what we do. Also, expect soon a Sober Talk video. All right? So, there we have it. As always, get out there and work on a project. I don't care what it is. Just do something with yourself. If you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet and do something special for them today. And as always, for every last one of you out there, if no one out there has told you that they love you, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.